everything's fixed, and the match is live.
Wow, I like that aggression from David B. He pushes forward, a couple of dink shots, and then confidently grabs the orb. That'll give him another point towards the resurrection. And already the swing from Petitek. He'll take out his alter ego Eccles. They're trying to get this spike down on the A site, but so far it's G2 that are able to push them back, and it's just down to one final player here. Solkus on the raise. He's got the spike.
Wins it, and then rededicates himself to that spike plant. The pulse is coming out from the recon. Dart not giving away his position, but there's targets everywhere. There's the jump peak coming through. So at least they do end up getting a spike plant and one kill. Because up until that moment, it was great paranoia coming in from Petitek to slow things down. Counter paranoia coming out, but it doesn't quite connect. Petitek has to back off as the nades are coming through. Yikes, that's tough to get away from Solkus peaks as the nade detonates, and it will be site control here for FISH123.
Yep, we'll see a couple of those shots start to ring from Mixwell, but it's Artis from behind stealing that frag onto Eccles. It's still 4 strong here from FISH123. They got to start that retake. Pith alongside Scream are trying to divide and conquer as they push in through lamps. The slow orb will make it difficult for Solkus to get out of here. They're just trying to get a little bit more athletic. Pith, a great slow swing through the orb, and they will just decimate one at a time, player after player, in FISH123's force up. Not really going their way. I might even have a look at this myself. How many rounds have FISH123 won on the second round force up after they lose the pistol? Because if it hasn't been working, if that win rate is below 50%, then why not just like suck up the pistol and go on rifles for that third round and have a better chance? Because now they're just bleeding 3 pretty much for free. But we'll see if they're able to get any of these sneaky little picks. David P from behind, a great lurk through Hookah. He'll just spray them all. Link will find one onto Pith, but it's just down to the last and final player in Hookah. Use back of sight and towards A short from both sides of the attack and the defense. But it's Solkus that wants to get a little bit more involved. That's the showstopper. It'll find its mark onto Artis. And now 4 remain for G2. The defense have arrived. The wall is up. The spike is down. And now it is up to G2 to get that retake underway.
Oh, you've got one holding the showers. Omen gonna take out Link. You've still got the Jet Mixwell on site. David P taking out one through the cyber cage. Going to find another as well as he walks into the ice, slowly inching towards the U-Haul, where you've currently got the Sage going through and a great paranoia coming out to blind him. It's
a lot of space for FISH123 to show us what they're capable of. And the fact that we're on another pistol looks like it's going to be another round for G2.
Oh my gosh, the Sage Wall. It's a gamble, and the peak does not work out well. We were just singing praises of David P, but the aggression results in his immediate death. The ult coming out, though, the Hunter's Fury. He leaps up into the sky. The pulse is going to connect, actually hitting multiple targets. They try to push up quicker as Pith had a dart in his belly giving away his position, and they will end up hitting that shot, but it's down to 2. It'll be the Omen and the Sova trying to work their way through on B long. Artis in sight inside the tuna can using the dark cover as a bit of cover, and yeah, Eccles goes for the port inside that smoke, and Artis is just there waiting for him with the spike in his possession. The last remaining player is very low on HP over towards Octagon. Mixwell wants it very badly, but can't quite get it in time.
Watching this esport, this game for the first time, Bind is probably the closest map when it comes to being attacker or defender sided, as we see an engagement from Petitek. That'll be a quick res onto Link as the trade there is good. But still, it's the 4v5 and G2. They just lost a member with an aggressive push.
Pith smoked out in heaven. Link's going to use that Aldrone to get intel on the site. Cryptics with a quick pick off onto Mixwell. And now they've got some site control. Artis is still here. He's over in U-Haul using shock darts to try and slow things down. Pith behind the smoke ends up putting a camera out. Well, at least get some intel, but the camera taken down almost immediately by Eccles. Eccles has to change positions, and the spray through the wall almost takes him out. He's very low on HP. Artis is still here in U-Haul, still being a problem. David P goes wide with the peak. Cryptics gets another on the round. Pith will chime in finally with the Phantom from Heaven, sending the rays flying to the netherworld, but it's Artis who has to come up big. He's very low on HP, just 27 remaining, and he's got a 1-on-3. One target is low, but the Sage goes with the wall to his right. All they have to do now is time the peaks out from Shower, and this round is all but unwinnable, so Artis decides to bail out. Going to save that weapon and bring it in the next round. FISH123 finally get themselves on the board.
This is a round that they needed to win, to be quite honest.
Well, they decided to back off until just now. So at 40 seconds left, they start to rotate around towards the A site. And they've done what they wanted to do. They pulled a player off of the A site defense. There's only one here. It's Mixwell. So when the push comes through, it's going to be quite difficult, especially as they have that Omen board available.
Oh, I like that move from the Recon. Bolt, he gets out of position and manages to find the frag. It's Eccles that goes down. The in-game leader, no longer a part of the conversation, but can he call from beyond the grave? The rest of the team starting to funnel in to get that spike down with just 10 seconds left. Imagine if there was an orbital strike right about now. That spike would not be going down. Pith will find one. It's just down to 3 for the side of FISH123, and they are not looking so good here. Mixwell trying to find an opportunity. Thought he saw somebody up there on the box with the boost. It's the Sage. And now G2 will start to funnel in Soulcast in very deep water here as he'll be taken out, but Scream manages to survive long enough to find a 3K. It's all up to Link. David P, with the classic of all weapons, will take out the Sova player. And now G2 give us a 6-1 scoreline, a 5-round lead. FISH123, that one's gotta hurt.
Times from G2, even specifically on this map, shots through smokes because of recon darts that were sent out from Artis. But right now, our eyes are on David P as he goes for the peek into the ice. Solkis will go down, and there is no res available for FISH123, so they'll be working with a disadvantage.
I think they used it last round too, if I'm not mistaken, which means that it's going to be not available for quite some time. David P gets into a little bit of an engagement. Patitek that is there to try to defend the push in from Hookah. Still, FISH123 held up in this bottleneck of B short. While on the opposite side, we do see Eccles getting a little bit more involved on that A side. A couple of trades here. Artis is ready for that push in into Lamps from Eccles, and somehow he's already rotated over towards the A side. I like that call. Quick moving from B all the way over to A after an early pick in the middle. It's just down to 2 for FISH123. They've got the weapons available, but really, how much longer will they survive? Patitek, he sees the barrel of the gun. Wait, did he not see that there? I swear it peeked out through. And now seeing that cyber cage, that'll give the confirmation that someone is there. Someone is lurking around in Hookah. Both 2 members remaining. It's going to be very difficult for FISH123 to break open onto this site. Forward into B short and finding opening picks. Like, that should not be happening. Or rather, FISH123 should not let that be happening.
Artis again inside Hookah. Playing right around the corner. Hoping to survive, but just taken out through the box. They've seen him do it just far too many times. There's one inside the tuna can as well. That's Mixwell going down. Doesn't even get a peek out. So it's up to Pith, who's around the corner, and they just blew the wall trying to get over top of the cyber cage, but Pith gets nothing. So now it's down to 2. A promising look right now from FISH123 as they've made their way onto the site. What can they do, though? It comes down to 1. It's Patitek coming in from spawn. A quick shot onto Solkis. Only got the Sage here. Sova started to rotate out of position, so it's up to David P. as Artis has backed off. There's the ult being popped by Artis for the time being, going a little bit vertical as he pops the Hunter's Fury, but won't actually take anybody out. David P using an aggressive wall. We've seen this time and time again from David P. Loses track of his target inside the smoke, so can't quite connect. But look at this. Mixwell coming in. Shock Dart as well is there. It's down to 2. FISH123 went for the push on B, but it hasn't worked out well for them at all. Echo's going to go for the spike plant on site. Eccles, though, has Mixwell right around the corner. At least Cryptix was able to take him out before that would be a threat, but with the paranoia still active, he goes inside the tuna can and just cannot survive. 1 fatality on the round for G2. These are the types
I've got the cross. Don't worry, if they push in, I'll find 1, I'll find 2. And then when they're looking at David P, all of a sudden, the rest of the team comes in for the crossfire. So FISH123 need to be very careful, but let's see how this push towards A works out.
Oh, no, the timing. That smoke starts to fade. The paranoia, though, going to bail him out as Patitek again inside the showers this time, locking down that portion of the map. The Rays in sight did go for the showstopper. Doesn't really make too much of a difference on the push. Nice shock dart coming out towards Heaven. That'll bring Pith a little bit lower. There's the ult being popped as well as they know the res came through. Does it take anyone out? No. Link. Actually, yes. Link hits the double pulse onto Mixwell. A peek in towards spawn from Scream. Almost worked on Artis, but he was ready for that and waiting. Great damage dealt. Shock dart in to finish off the last bit of HP remaining. But the spike is currently inside showers, and the attack is a little bit leery of moving into that position. There's David P now coming up from short and bringing things all down to Link. The Sova, we talked about it. Not necessarily an agent he feels as comfortable with as he does the Sage. How does that affect his play here in the 1v3?
Yeah, May want to just save the weapon. There aren't too many rounds left. In fact, I think the next round is the last and final round. He gets tagged by the camera. They know exactly where he is, trying to push forward. You will find one.
Tech right now having an absolutely ridiculous game coming in for G2. Fantastic performance thus far. Eccles, the opposite Omen, struggling at times in that Omen role, has a lot on his plate, being the IGL and the operator player and the Omen. Just a lot of responsibility there. David P went a little bit aggressive with the peek initially, and he gets taken out. Eccles is back sight, and now he's trying to punish as well. There's still one here in position. It was Mixwell towards spawn as well, trying to offer up some support, but now it comes down to the man we were just praising, the Omen. A 1-on-5, a third round looking likely here for FISH123. So sure, they end the half with an exclamation point, but for the most part, it's been a dull first half for FISH123. They desperately need to pick up that pistol, and David P on the attack, a player who plays the aggressive Sage quite well. Scream right around the corner, sees that cyber cage come through, tries to fire away on the other side of it, has to dive bomb the box. Mixwell won't allow him, doesn't even see his feet touch the ground. The spike does get planted. Significant nade damage coming in from the Raze. Nice smoke from Mixwell to get him out of that position and into a more safe and comfortable spot in the U-Haul. A 5-on-4, but you can see the damage dealt. So was on about half HP. Omen very, very close to death. Solkis is going to send the Boombot in first, going right behind it.
Nice
Great paranoia coming out to slow them down. Mixwell will pick one off in the meantime. Another Paranoia coming out. This one working out nicely for FISH123. Cryptix goes around the corner, and now it comes down to one. It comes down to Artis on site. Fantastic retake coming out from FISH123 here in the pistol.
You know,
instead, they're just going to run through spawn and through the wishbone back towards that A site. And right now, FISH123 is slowly siphoning assets off the A site. But as I say that, they go for a 180. So 3 players now on the A site, the Cypher, Raze, and Sage. But we're seeing a recommitment from G2 towards B. So Eccles still going to be in hookah, still going to get challenged, drops off the box. Paranoia is perfect. They know he's around the corner, but it doesn't make a difference. The shotgun is so incredibly powerful. Speaking of shotguns, you've got Link here as well with the Bucky. One through the cyber cage looking for more. Great damage dealt. But now it's Eccles who has to step up. Oh, the dash out from the Jet working out nicely.
To use it quite effectively here. Unfortunately, can't land those knives, and now having to get out of a sticky situation. It's the rest of the team that are trying to hold off these pushes coming in from all angles on that A side. Solkis has got the Bulldog and now swaps places with Eccles, who's only got a Frenzy and a Marshall, but can't use the Marshall at close range. It's G2 that pull off. They'll find a pick. Pith manages to escape too, and they'll start to hunt him down. But why? They've taken the connector. They're getting that spike down, and the B site is ready for the post plant.
How does G2 handle this one, though? The numbers working against them, just pistols in their possession. You've got Mixwell around the corner, low on HP, and Solkis isn't having any of that. Sprays him down through the box. 25 HP for the Raze as he leaps out the window. Tech's here, and he's got 71 HP and a classic. First shot right on the money. Takes the second exchange, obviously not going to go his direction when the Bulldog starts firing away. So the round...
Pith having a little bit more of like a lurking role as he's gathering information in the showers, maybe even going to grab that orb to boot, make a little noise, and G2, now they're ready for the push in. They'll start to hover in around hookah as Mixwell gets aggressive. It's a wall to stop the push further from Scream, but they'll still get that spike down, and little do they know that wall actually helps G2 in the process. And now it's a weird retake. Echo's going to find one with the operator. That's going to be great, but that wasn't even on the B site. That was the A site, but it doesn't even matter as G2, they fall left and right just down to David P, and he's on the retreat with the Ghost.
Yeah, that's going to be their round to take yet again, as G2 managed to find at least, like, we are 16 rounds deep going into round number 17. Not exactly the performance we expect to see. Tech goes aggressive, has to drop the spike back behind him, and in that time, Scream gets into a better position and takes him out through the box, tries to go for the leap, but it doesn't really matter. Scream's found 3. Mixwell has to peek for the punish, and they brought it down to now 2 and upgraded to an operator. The Boombot going to give away the position there of Pith, but they knew he was present anyway. Almost blew up. Had he not had that operator available to him, would have been a little bit deadly. Right around the corner, there is the Raze, spotted by the camera, taken out immediately, naturally. What do they do, though? How do they readjust? The Aldrone goes in first. The Raze peeks behind it. And the Satchel Pack also going in towards showers. Mixwell has not re-peaked off Cat, currently just holding back right now, starting to move up closer to the A site. And again, the Raze has gotten into this corner right around the edge. It's going to be a difficult fight for Pith to take, as there's one in heaven as well, ready for the immediate trade should he go for it.
Yeah, may want to save the operator too. Mixwell going to throw those smokes down, and as a result, that might be the cross that's trying to help the push forward. It's Sulcus who's there
almost
in the back.
Immediately. Now they do have the res available on both sides. There's the Boombot going in as well. The question is whether or not they can try and get that res through. So there's the res coming through, but they can't really peek freely on the back of that. Eccles does spot Mixwell as he was holding for the push to come through, just in case they tried to stop that res from being a thing. So that Mixwell going down, Eccles immediately traded out. Pushing through is going to be Sulcus, and he'll take out Pith. So now it comes down to 2 here for G2. It's David P, who's in the U-Haul, peeking wide, and it's down to 1 now. It's the hero who's been fantastic thus far at times. Petit Tech goes ahead and sends some utility towards the site, but then the slow orb makes it incredibly difficult for him to even get out of position. Yet again, stuck behind that box. He was spammed through it a few rounds ago.
Are we going to put a round or 2 or 3 to close out this map? Or is FISH123 really going to catch up here on their map pick and take us to map number 2?
This is an impressive recovery from FISH123 despite the early hiccups. Now, there is that ult lead-in from Mixwell. Cryptix goes back behind the double stack, but Mixwell's already made it into elbow. That's a nice shot coming out from Scream. They have to watch out for Mixwell, who's in position, but he doesn't get a chance to even send out one of those blades. The round is stumped.
And now Scream picking up this operator. That's going to be a couple of these G2 members that have already pulled off the site. The execute was there. They brought the resources over for the side of FISH123, but now they've got complete control of this B site. And the weaponry tells us it's not the eco. They're locked and loaded, and they want to make this round number 11.
Caster curse. My bad. It happens, you know? It happens. Shock darts going in. As they get closer and closer to the site, Artis is going to send a high recon dart, trying to get that one in towards spawn. Starts to spray through as the recon dart gets taken out. His position's been spotted, but he's on the other side of the tuna can. Link comes through with the first kill. Another one coming in from Link, and hold on. FISH123 have managed to make it a 2-on-3. David P is lurking around the back end of the play. First one will be his execution onto Sulcus as well. And that's the round lost. Scream was too far disconnected from the play. Now he's got the operator as well. Doesn't want to give that one up. So G2 will find their 11th round. Deep smoke coming out, but it's not exactly perfect. There's the camera as well. Sulcus is right around this corner, ready to punish. He's got the nade as well. All he has to do is time it nicely, even though he has all that intel somehow, some way. Petit Tech is there as the Omen to punish. Scream wants to use his own wall to get some verticality to peer over the opposite Sage wall, try and find an angle, a line of sight towards the site. Instead, he'll end up falling to Pith. And the defense crumbles here on the A side. It's down to a 3-on-3 retake.
Oh, I like this from Petit Tech. Does he expect it? Oh, Cryptix had no idea. Oh, man, that smoke was so good. And he hit in it perfectly as it dissipated. They didn't even know each other existed until that point. Now it's just down to 2 for FISH123. Does feel like this could be map point for G2, but Eccles, he wants to be a part of the conversation, down to the 2v2. That spike's ticking, but it's a great swing from David P. Eccles needs to get involved, but he's got the swing. It's not good. It's David P. He takes us to match point for G.
The shots will come through, trying to chisel away at that ice. David P is in the octagon. Do they clear this corner with the Al drone? No. So that could be a problem. The anticipation that there's no one there, and you can see it already works out well for David P. Immediately punished. So they lose the Sage, and they lose David P., which is also important as he's been a top performer for this team at times. Sulcus in position, spotted out by the dart. Mixwell hits the quick shot. Eccles spotting out Petit Tech, who tries to get into that better position inside U-Haul, will bring it down to a 3-on-3.
That's going to be the shock dart, trying to clear it out, but unfortunately it does not go deep enough still. Like you said, it is the 3-on-3. They try to push in aggressively. Mixwell hopping into lamps. Pith, unfortunately, will be smoked off, and so this might be a lot of space that FISH123 gain. The paranoia to try to stop them from pushing forward. Here's the engagement. The spray's good from Artis. It's the quick trade. Mixwell needs to get out of there, but he hops right back in, gets domed right by Cryptix, and now it's just down to Pith. The swing is good. Now down to the 1v1. It's Link against Pith, and that's going to be the first spray, but it doesn't connect through the box. The clip is starting to run dry, and it's good! It's G2 that win the first map on Bind.
Pith, really good target. But he'll be falling off. And again, it's a weird round coming in from the attacking side of G2. Oh, the wall just comes in a second too late, so Link will get taken out by Mixwell, who waited for that opportunity so patiently. Scream, back of sight, nice flash coming out. He's got 2 targets though coming his direction, and the leaping artist proves to be too much to deal with. So the spike should be secured, and the site has been lost here. But the retake is already well underway with bodies already building up in that area. Solkus just sees his teammate go down behind him, and now Pith is there as well. It all falls onto one. It's going to be the Cypher. This round, just very strange with the way that it plays out. Push in that area. They decided back off. They had 4 players built up there. It looked like they might actually go for that fast B play. They changed their mind. Look at Cryptics right around the corner with the Bucky. Sees the pistol first, goes for the peek. Second target there. Can't quite get the pulses from that shotgun to connect. And now he's down to 65 HP and stuck in a very difficult position. First shock dart, make it a follow-up. Nothing can be done. So now they'll be moving in with the Aldrone. They'll spot the one right outside of main with the Judge. Eccles can't even port out in time. This defense falling pretty quickly here as now G2 has come through the window. And there's one also coming in on long. That'll be the Sage with the flank. The Tremor coming out from Breach, from Scream himself. Nice shots onto the site from Solkus with the shotgun. There's more currently in Hell. The Judge is going to have to do the dirty work. There's one right around the corner, and the shotgun is perfect for the scenario. FISH123 may have lost some bodies earlier on, but they stole the round away here.
Pistol, but will it work again? As FISH123 are denying the push forward. The spray through the HUD actually will take out Solkus. I'm not even sure where Artist was aiming to get that frag, but they open things up with 2 picks, and now FISH123, they have to react.
Cryptics has made it up to spawn. Scream is there as well, and as the smoke comes down, the dark cover doesn't pop quick enough. This will be a solid move as there is one right around the corner that flushes him out of position straight into Eccles' aim. The pulse is coming out from the ult from Artis, end up working out for at least one. Through the smoke goes David P. Does great damage to Eccles, but afraid to repeak because there is 2 targets there. Now he's moved over towards lane, and there's not much that Eccles can do about that one. It's all up to Cryptics here with the Phantom in the 1-on-2, down to 39 HP. They're both behind the default box. Good double peek coming
for an aggressive move in. Eccles, unfortunately, he was looking for the Judge play, but he'll be dealt with quite quickly. Cryptics, one of the last points of contact as he's being flooded, won't even find the quick trade, and another round not going the way of FISH123.
Nice shock dart coming out from Solkus. It was kind of a fadeaway shot, and it works out nicely. The ult being popped as well. The Hunter's Fury couldn't find that second pulse after connecting initially. Good damage dealt here by FISH123 as now the spike goes down. Link's got a line of sight through this wall, and he can actually just walk right around it. And as he tries to peek, he'll end up taking significant damage through the edge of the wall. The recon dart looking to give away some positions. Scream spraying through that smoke. Can't actually hit as the generator is in the way. It comes down to one on the site against one over towards long, and it's David P. It's exactly who you want.
A lot of Buckies on the side of FISH123, and we'll see if that ends up being quite helpful or fruitful for them, as 2 picks from David P tell us, nope, not going to be the case. And now the rest of the team will start to funnel in towards the A site.
Scream holding back a bit with the Marshal, realizing this round is very much lost. So you can see the aggressive play coming out from David P. Of course he's going for it. Why wouldn't he? He's just that kind of player. He wants the kills. Mixwell's thirsty for it too. The last 2 for the defense currently deep in mid, and Pith is going to be the first to spot them out. The shotgun actually does great damage to Pith. He's down on 13 HP. The tripwire slows down Link, but he's still there with the Sheriff. He'll upgrade to the Phantom.
Uh-oh.
But it's only got 10 bullets left. Does he have the... he doesn't have the time to reload.
So feel very attacker-sided, and we probably can just chalk it up to playstyle as FISH123 get a little bit aggressive on their own front, and we'll take out an early pick from G2.
The ult coming through from Mixwell dices Link to pieces. Same could be said for Cryptics. Goes up inside the dark cover. Eccles is like, okay, that's enough of that. And as a result, it's now down to 1. It's the Omen. The T-Tech, he's on site. Goes for the dark cover towards spawn. Decides to just hide inside of it. Gonna port past. He walks a little bit too far up, gets spotted as the barrel starts to poke through, so doesn't really work out so well for him. But the spike, it's going over to a different side of the map. So again, they'll move up towards short. You've got two currently playing defense here. You've got Lincoln, you've got Scream. Scream goes down almost instantaneously to David B. The Sage v Sage battle goes the direction of FISH123. Great shots coming out from Link, as well as Mixwell will go down and result in a 2-on-2 nice res, also coming out on Scream to give them the numbers advantage in the retake.
There's going to be the Hunter's Fury from what I assume is Artis. He's going to try to get a couple of tags and maybe even look for a frag. And quite honestly, if he got that there, that would have been huge because they would have nullified the res, but they don't in this case. Artis now having to reposition just down to one final player. It's Patitek. And as he peeks through the archways, it's Solkus that'll take him down. FISH123 keeping this one close. It's 3-4
through the B connector. Kind of curious as to what the reason was for that constant challenge. Onto the site they go, though. Cryptix comes up empty-handed against the Pistols. Eccles has to be careful as well. He doesn't want to peek out too close with that operator, as the Pistols can unleash a flurry of bullets towards that direction. So yet again, site control, spike planted for G2. And there's another kill coming in as well. Like, this is problematic right now if you're FISH123.
And really, the biggest problem that I personally find is that if FISH123 are able to find these retakes, it's because the post plant is difficult for G2 to get into a comfortable position. We're seeing that here. Artis, he's like, where am I going? Where are we? Link finds two. Is there no communication to say that there's one fragging from behind? The entire team was looking up towards heaven, and Link was just like, okay, I'm going to line up my crosshair a little to the left, a little to the right. Likely going to go down any moment now. They're going to plant what looks like to be in a new position. Not really behind the generator. And that might be the call for the post plant. You know, they've struggled with it before. Maybe that angle is better for them in holding down that spike. As they get into an engagement with Patitek, they help Scream push up forward. And now it's the man advantage. It's the 4v3. Mixwell in a great position. Shot's going to be clean. And still, I don't know if they closed that door before, but it's still wide open for the defense to funnel in. Regardless, they will funnel in from heaven. And as one, they will get picked off one at a time. Artis gets the penetration from what it looks like to be the wall there. He shoots in from long. Mixwell has a clean shot, and it's just down to Solkus. He drops down.
Yesterday against NIP, their halves were definitely attack-sided in that series alone, so I'm looking to that series as a bit of a sampler for what we should expect to see from FISH123 in that second half.
And quite honestly, there's only 2 rounds that remain, including this one, as we'll start to see it go the way of FISH123. An early pick from Cryptix as they'll start to push forward, but it's Mixwell. He slices, he dices, he finds 2 frags, but at what cost? His teammates, they're falling all around. It's just Artis that last remains in the 1v3. Has the Hunter's Fury available. Likely not going to use it here, but that spike is down. Sees the one peek behind the generator, and now as he's flashed, he stays close. We're now seeing G2 poised towards Catwalk, and Eccles, he'll be in a little bit of trouble as now they'll start to swing one at a time. Finds one, but it's Scream there with 2, will deny the push forward into the Dream Room. And now it's just down to Artis once again. The rolling red carpet is going to come out, and Scream peeks down
and then came back, but I still could go to some websites. It was like my DNS just died. Regardless, here comes the push towards the site. Artis goes to the burst fire for the first shot. It fans out and doesn't do as much damage as you would expect. Still able to win that 1v1, but Scream is there for the immediate trade. So it's a 4-on-4. Spikes found its way towards the site and going down inside the muck of that B site. Scream gets peeked by Mixwell, starts to spam through the dark cover. They've got lane control and they've got stairs control as well. They've made their way into the house where they can trigger the door, and you can see the leaping target trying to dodge the shots coming through the wall. Paranoia into the site. Camera gives away their positions. They start to move up closer. Cryptix from back behind the default box, not able to do much, and it comes down to Scream here, trying to get through the door, but the spike's already being stuck, and it's looking like it's going to be around here for G2. There's just too much in his way to stop him from getting back in. Scream with the great shots finds a 4K, but at that point, the round... Some smoke's going down on B. Has pushed some weight in that direction. Pith has to pop the cyber cage as there's targets right around the corner, and they're just going to pour through. First one's going to be his. Super low on HP, decides to go to the sidearm. He's got support from Mixwell, but both players will go down in the end. It's a 3-on-2, and they're going to get that spike over towards the site.
Spike, of course, going to be going down, and while I was really questioning whether some of these force-ups ended up in wins for the side of FISH123, and we're seeing now before our eyes that in a lot of cases it does work. This is the second time that we've seen it really bode well for them, as G2 are struggling to really deal with that force up. They've got to come in with the weaponry too. No longer can you just hold on to a ghost in the second round and hope to buy an operator on the third. You got to get involved. You got to get active. But how can you read that? You can't. You can't anticipate anymore. Oh yeah, sorry, he still is. It was the Sova on the opposite side. Sulcus that ends up falling. And now they'll push forward. DVP waiting close down below. It's a great cross set up by Artis, but they're still waiting to jump in. It's a great positioning, but DVP, he's hesitant on the trigger, and now Artis with
thunder towards the A site. Surprise, there's actually no one playing defense on A currently. They're back further, so they'll be able to get onto the site, potentially free of charge. Now Pith will peek out and sprays through to get one, at least towards the door, but the wall goes up, the dark cover is in, and the spike will be planted. And we've got ourselves at a 5-on-4 here. FISH123 have site control, and you can see the Sage is right around the corner. Heal going out as well to try and bring everyone back to full HP.
Oh, wow. Sulcus right through the floor. It's the recon bolt that spots Mixwell, and then he capitalizes on that information. They'll still try to push forward by the defense, but now it's just down to Scream. And all the last that remains is Eccles. He's got to swing around this wall. He does so, but it's Artis that's prepared with a spray from the Phantom. Question mark for the opposition. And that's what we're seeing. This distraction by Sulcus is causing a lot of confusion for G2. They pulled off members from B, and then now they pull back. They're just a little undecided where are the opposition going to go. This is obviously not a spy cam that we're looking at. We're just looking at a different angle. But now the Hunter's Fury going to come in from Artis. He's going to tag one, and little does he know, he might find a little bit more than he bargained for. He'll find one as the rest of G2 will decimate the opposition that are moving forward. Unfortunately for FISH123, it's only pistols in their hands. Hovering around that A side, but DVP, he sees an army pushing in towards the B side. It's the Aftershock that pushes him even further back, and now Mixwell is going to need to get here in time quite quickly as DVP's all on his lonesome. How many can he get? Finds one so far, but can he find the second? That'll be the best translation there. He'll find two. Can he find the third? Cannot. It's Scream. But how long will the team survive here for the side of FISH123? Sulcus now incredibly late on the rotation, as it's just down to the defense. The Mixwell swing will work out well for him. And as Sulcus peers in,
the cam gets taken down as the slow orb lands. It'll push them back just a bit. David P shows no signs of slowing down, and that's going to result in his death potentially. The flash coming out. He almost gets away somehow, but accidentally slows himself down in the attempt to reel back towards the B site. So a man advantage here for FISH123 early, and they take out David P, who's been a strong performer statistically and as the Sage. That means they lose that wall, and they lose the heal as well.
Tizek, though, will be one of the first contact points alongside Pith towards this A side. They've got tripwire set up with that recon bolt, about to make it very difficult. As how do you react? There's a red carpet being rolled up, but the Paranoia is at least a decent answer, but still they will lose one in the process. It's Scream that pushes forward. Mixwell, he's ready on the side, but Tizek is not alone in this battle as Mixwell will provide the firepower at a distance as he pulls back towards Heaven with Artis. One kill coming in from Tizek, looking for the second, looking for the third, but Tizek, yes! G2 defend yet another push, and that'll be round 11 for G2.
That is an absolute backbreaker for FISH123. That is a brutal round that have been few and far between in the second half thus far, because FISH123 haven't necessarily gotten onto the site as much, but it's those retakes that are just too strong to deal with. Aggression coming out yet again, and it is punished as there's trades going in both directions. We'll have one player who's currently sitting on the sidelines. Link is pushed up mid towards Market. Mixwell doesn't even see it coming, so assassinated by the Sage, but there's another kill coming out from Artis, who's spamming away. He's got some support coming in from the Omen as well, and it's another one! Brings it down to Eccles with the Bulldog, backside of Market.
Well, this could be the last and final round for FISH123.
It's an early advantage, at least, for FISH123. Somehow it works out nicely for them. And there's David P, though, chiming in with 3 of his own. David P with a solid defense, but it's a bounce back coming in from FISH123. Don't count them out of it yet, as they found themselves in a 2-on-2. But as I say that, Scream tries to flash and gets gunned down through the wall. It's all up to Sulcus, the Sova, to keep things going. First peak not going to be his. It will be G2, your champions here of the WePlay Valorant Invitational.